I wish I could say it's a good day. Well, it was a good day, loads of progress, some stuff, speaking to a client about some stuff for them as well. Potential client, their job's now delayed for about 4 weeks because they're moving house, whatever, and they are still on board and everything, just a delay by 4 weeks, which again gives me another week to get on with the super course. By the way, I want to say hey to Maddie, Pickstar, Mia, Michael, Gene, Tara Kangas, TLC Online, and of course John Ferris. But yeah, it's one of those things where for any of you that are parents, so son Raheem, his behaviour has been a bit kind of like becoming a little bit more disruptive in class. And, it's not like it's anything worrying. Hey, John PT, but it's just like his behaviour's been a bit disruptive. And, nearly every day the teachers kind of have a word with me about it. And it's a little bit, hey, Ahmed, Masood, how you doing? Yeah, it gets a little bit like, it starts to like bother me a little bit. Kind of thing. Hey, Dave, then, because the teachers speak to in front of all the other parents who are around as well, and it gets a little bit like, what are we doing wrong? What are we doing wrong? It's not like we're doing anything wrong. He's still a good boy, but he's just a bit disruptive. He gets overexcitable or doesn't know when to stop a little bit, kind of thing. So yeah. It's one of those I was on a bit of a high, I was feeling good, and then hey Richard, how you doing? Hey Dave as well, by the way. I think I said hi to Dave. Yeah. So today's been pretty good in terms of sorry, I've yawned then. Work-wise was pretty good, been a bit intense for the last 2 days because I made sure I didn't have many projects on and stuff like that. Do you remember I mentioned yesterday Voxel, so 27 Collective? No, Johnny, ain't that. No. He's not trying to impress anyone. So Voxel is a theme by 27 Collective. 27 Collective are responsible for the My Listing theme. And they gave me a copy of Voxel to have a look at. I spent 3 hours trying to understand their documentation and build, and I found it so goddamn complex, like super unbelievably complex, because you're literally having to build everything. It's like a page builder within itself. So with the My Listing theme, you got loads of stuff built out, and you had a minor amount of control over how it looked. What they've done with Voxel is, rather than having pre-built stuff, you now build everything from scratch, which some people might like, but then it almost feels like, well, why would you do that? Why would you not then just go down the Crocoblock route, maybe, or have other additional features and stuff? Also, the Voxel does come with 3 demos. Those demos are so ridiculously complex when you upload them and then look at... So what I did was I installed one of their demos, and it had like 40 templates, loads of posts within posts, dynamic fields. It was like, this makes no sense, right? Because for me, if you install a template or a theme that's already built, like a page, you get to reverse engineer it. Here it was like, this does not make sense. Like even the home page, and where does that come from, or where does that go? And that feeds into that. And I went back to him and says, look, I would love to have understood this, right? And done a review and a video, but I can't even get my head around it. And I've spent 3 hours of my time on this. And then I also said to them, your documentation, I hate to be harsh here, but your documentation is very poor. It says, here's what this setting does. Here's what this setting does. Here's what this setting does. But it doesn't draw them together. So how does that setting affect that? Why would you use that? Why would you not use this? Etc. Like, how does it all flow? Even with your search page, hey Artif, it wasn't clarifying we're talking about the voxel theme by 27 Collective, which is meant to be an advancement of my listing, but I think it's really, really bad. Hey, Jeffrey. And I said your documentation does not flow. All it's doing, it's literally like, it's like, imagine Elementor said, here's the template, here's where you create templates, here's where you create headers, here's where you do display condition. But there was nothing anywhere that said, you go there to template, you create your header, you have some examples or you build from scratch, you do your components. Now you have to go to display conditions to make sure it's visible on XYZ. Everything kind of has a start, a finish. It tells a story. None of that here. And their voxel theme has been out now quite a while. It's still relatively new, but it's been around now, 7-8 months now, I think. There isn't a single how to use it video out there. Even by the theme developers, even they have not created a start to finish how to build a website, how to build a directory website. And I said to them that I'm really sorry, but I haven't even got anything that I can watch and study properly. So they, and I said, you've got to go back to the drawing board. What you've done is you've taken the My Listing theme. You only had so much stuff you could do with it, but there was some flexibility. You then create the voxel theme, but the voxel theme is so raw, you have to build everything from scratch. And the time and complexity for that, and the room for error, the amount of human error you can get from that is unprecedented. But the documentation doesn't even make sense. Like, literally, it does not flow. And there's no videos. Exactly, Michael. I think that's what it is. That's why they contacted me. And they even gave me a free copy with 2-3 licenses, which is great. It's normally $59 a year. They gave me a lifetime license. Brilliant. But after 3 hours, I said to them, this is not intuitive. I love using the My Listing theme, and even I can't get my head around this voxel thing. I can't get my head around it. And if it's taking someone like me 3 hours and I'm like this, I was going, what is going on here? Right, I've created my post type. I've created my taxonomy. This doesn't do what I think it does, and this that you told me should do this doesn't do that. So where am I going wrong? If it ain't intuitive, right, it ain't going to work, right? It ain't going to, I can't see it taking off. And the fact, My Listing has got over, the Facebook group for My Listing has got over 5,000 users, roughly 5,000. And loads of people use it. I can't be the only one that does Facebook videos, right? And if people can't work it out, no, but you know what, John? Do you know what, John? I even said to them, I could spend 2 days focusing on this and still not get it. Because there's nothing to fall back on, Like, for anyone using Elementor, you got videos. And even if you didn't have the videos by YouTubers, you got Elementor documentation, you got something to fall back on. And I felt, wow, this is just not going on for me. Please don't forget to hit like if you've not hit like already. We've only got 7 at the minute. But yeah, look. All I'm going to say is this, right? The very first time I used Bricks Builder, for the first hour, I was a little bit lost. Because I was trying to work out, well, where do I go and what do I do, right? Because I was very much still in Elemental mode. And then it clicked. And then things started clicking. And I had some other videos and documentation to watch. I was, right, that's what it was. And away I went. And I got on board with it. When you spend 3 hours just creating a post type, trying to understand what your fields are, and then you kind of go, well, now what? oh, I do templates, but how does that fit into that? It felt so lost. It felt so random that I just thought, oh man, I've spent 3 hours. I've got other stuff to do. I've got clients. I've got the super course. I've got social media. I've got stuff to do. Marketing, whatever's. I ain't got time to do this. And that's where you have to kind of pull yourself back, right? How much time do you give away? How much time do you give away? Do you give away a day or two trying to understand something which you might not even... Now, the voxel theme, okay, is good. When you look at what you can achieve, it is great. It is really good. But it feels to me like it's almost, it literally feels like a page builder tool, but it doesn't work the way you would normally do a page builder tool. It's I cannot explain just how complex it is. It is ridiculously complex. And maybe if I have like a day where I know I've got no one to disturb me, there's no live chats, there's no pressure, no client work, no YouTube, no super course, no nothing, and I have a day to kill, I've got nothing, I'm just sat here wasting my time, I've got nothing else to do, I might jump back in again. But right now, it really felt like I wasted 3 hours of my life. And so John, how different is Bricks to Elementor? Yeah, I mean, I would say Bricks feels like, once you get your head round it and you understand that the layout's a little different and certain stuff you could do in Elementor, you might have to do differently in Bricks. Bricks does allow you to do a little bit more, especially the class system. The class system, I think, is really, really good with Bricks. I would say, John, the best thing you can do is go to our YouTube channel, go to the Bricks 101 or the Bricks playlist, and I think it's video number 4 or 5. It's one of the videos in there which is about the global classes. You really should go watch that, because I think that really hits the nail on the head with where Bricks, for me, is ahead of what Elementor are doing at the moment. And that's the thing though, Michael, like the point you just made. Imagine a beginner, they've paid $59 because they are told all of the advertising is that this is better than my listing. This gives you more freedom. This is better. The flexibility, the possibilities is miles better by my listing. And this is built by the My Listing developers. So when the developers of My Listing, and they still look after it, have now built something even better, why wouldn't you want to go for that? So $59 a year for one license, you get it, and then boom. And if you're not used to the My Listing theme, you are proper bummed. Okay, your brain is just going to explode. No, to be honest though, Mackie, it's not, by the way, Mackie, it's not bad publicity. It's what you call honesty. It's a bit like if Pepsi Max changed the flavour and I didn't like it, I would talk about it. It's a bit like the PR marketing behind breakdance. We don't like it, we talk about it. So for me, it's like any plugin or theme that puts anything out there where I feel like they've missed a trick and they've got to go back a step. Really what they should do, here's what they should do, right? They should go back a step and create the documentation of how did we create this demo. So if they've got a demo for doctor's appointments and booking a doctor and finding a doctor in a city or the world, and it's got loads of features and filters, how did you create that? So don't just give us a demo that's full of templates that don't make sense. Like, well, what is that for? Create a video or a document that goes step by step with from installation to completion. How did you do that? because that then becomes the Bible documentation that people can then follow, because they can then see the result and go, oh, okay, so they did X, Y, Z. I don't want that, so I don't need to do X, Y, Z. But would you still need to do X, Y, Z? Because you might need it for something else. And that's where the clarity is just not there. Just not there. John, maybe live record doing it to show how crazy it is used. To be honest though, John, we have got Bricks videos on that. I have got a playlist, so I would say go to the playlist, because believe me, when you watch the Global Classes one, you'll totally get it. Which theme is best for an agency website? So what I would say, Prantu, okay, that's the wrong question. The right question is, what do you want to do for your agency website? So are you talking about a web agency, a recruitment agency? Are you using Elementor? Are you using Bricks Builder? If you're using Elementor, just go for hello. Why would you need to use something else? Number two, if you're a web design agency, why would you use Astra or Cadence or anything else where you get pre-built blocks? What you should be doing is building from scratch. Why am I saying build from scratch? Well, shouldn't you be showcasing what you can do? And if you're relying on Astra starter sites for your agency site, then that says to me that maybe you need to think hard about, well, what can you do? Can you build a website from scratch? Blank page, build from scratch. So I would say don't use Astras and stuff like that. Yeah, well, the thing is, Mackie, I don't think they're lazy. I think it's just, I just have this feeling that I just feel like they've rushed, they've got their product out. They've obviously spent time creating their demos, but at no point did they sort of go, right, you know, what did we do? And put it down. Because hey Linda, the documentation is really, really lacking, right? It's like they've got repeater field, and they say the repeater field allows you to repeat, and that's it. It doesn't say how did they use it in their demo. Where did they use it? Where did they make it work? What was the logic? What were the pros? What were the cons? There's no point in putting a repeater field in unless you do other stuff as well before and after. Literally, they go, we have repeater fields to repeat stuff. And that's it. Like, I kind of got that from the name of the field. It's a repeater field. But where is it in context to your demo? Do you get what I mean? And that's where I get a little bit irritated by bad documentation, right? Richard, is Brick stable enough for live projects? Do you know something? I have heard some people say there's been bugs. I also know some people that are using it at the same time, and they've said it's okay. So you're going to get a mixed response, really. Is Bricks good enough or not? I think you're going to get a mixed response. Hey, JMXHD. By the way, hey, Eddie as well. Hey, Eddie, I'm not sure why you're not getting notification. Just make sure that you haven't got like a pop-up blocker or something like that. Maybe, just double check that. Jeffrey, when you build from scratch and the site has a problem, you're much more like... Yeah, exactly what Jeffrey says there. The minute you use Astra or any other theme and there's a problem, is it the theme? Is it your plugin? Which is why I don't like to use too many Elementor add-ons. In fact, I don't like to have any add-ons. I'll have Elementor, I'll have Elementor Pro. No add-ons. And then, unless it's a WooCommerce website or something funky with appointments or hotels or whatever, then the website will be like Elementor, optimization plugins, you might have security, and that's about it. So I know that the minute it goes wrong, you know where to go. So what? Okay, Prantu, you say if I'm looking for a demo, not sure about that. I mean, Richard builds from scratch. I like to scratch. You know, can't help but scratch every now and again. You know, believe me, if you have a really hot curry, you end up scratching your ass. JMXHD, been trying to wrap my mind around repeater fields. Yeah, okay, so, hey Sam, by the way, Rizzy, how you doing? So the way to think of repeater fields is, let's say, it's like a website field, or, do you know, I sometimes struggle to explain repeater fields as well. So let's say you've got like a social media link or a field. I don't think I'm explaining it very well. I'm not explaining it very well. But anyway, look, without me explaining it in my ridiculous way, hey, Carlo, Voxel have done loads of good stuff, but I just don't think the documentation is there. Right? And, yeah, I mean, there you go, Sam. Yeah, there you go. FAQ, that's a good example. Hey, Artif. Did you just disappear, Artif? And now you're back in again. But like I said, Voxel, they've got... I mean... yeah, go on. Artif's going to give a good explanation, right? I was going to show you the documentation for Voxel, but I won't do that because then you might start to think I'm picking faults, and I don't mean to pick faults. Yeah, it could be, yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, social media's website addresses are the ones I usually tend to come up with. I'm just reading to see what Artif says next. He says it could be used for... The repeater field could be used for all the different rooms. I have got an ACF video. I did ACF and pods a while ago. I did it with Elementor and Bricks. Again, John PT, what you need to do is go to our channel and do a search for the video. Just search for ACF and you will find quite a few videos to do with ACF. And by the way, please don't forget to hit like if you've not hit like already. And of course, don't forget about our super course, okay, on how to start a web design business. Or maybe you already got a business and you're struggling to grow or scale. Or you need some other ideas, or you're struggling with how to get clients or manage client expectations. Or are you one of those people where every time you give a proposal, you start knocking the price down because you're desperate to win the business? How can you get away from that? You know, always stay firm. I mean, you're allowed wiggle room. Don't get me wrong. You are allowed some wiggle room, but be confident in your pricing as well. And only do the wiggle room if you feel like it can make a little bit of a difference. But don't do ridiculous drops. Don't go from, here's the cost, and then drop it to like 70%. Because I, as a client, would be like, well, why did you charge me that high amount in the first place then? Hey, Chima, how you doing? My week's been okay. Lots of stuff on. Glad to have you back, Andrew. Yeah, the week's been okay, but I think something that we're going to have to start addressing at home is Raheem, son's behaviour. At school, he's becoming more and more disruptive, and I don't think he understands how misbehaving a little bit or disrupting is not good for him or anyone else in class, you know, and it's not good. So he's got to watch out for that. Thank you very much, Cube WP. That was very generous of you. Really, really nice of you, by the way. Chima's talking about, remember those pages I told you had issues ranking on Google that you and Brian helped him with some ideas? Oh, yeah. Well, it's starting to rank now. Got a couple of pages on page 1. Do you know what, Chima? I can't even remember what we told you. What did we tell you, Chima? You're going to have to remind me now. What did we tell you to do? Obviously, Google business profile, but what else did we tell you to do? You're going to have to remind me. Hello, Nyan. How you doing? Yeah, I mean, to be honest though, Mackie, I get a fair amount of them. Not just from Elementor Expert, but also generally on Elementor, and I get them by Facebook. And what happens is, I get an email or a message, and they start to tell me all about their life and how they want to work with me and blah, blah, blah. And I just reply back with, I'm not hiring kind of thing. And I feel like they share too much. And I do feel like a lot of them can get taken for a ride. If you start putting out there that you are almost desperate for work, people will take you on for a very low price. And you might think, well, it's better than nothing. Is it? Is it really? You know, are you going to spend 1 week working on a website for £100, £200? I'm not. You might, well, that's okay. I don't mind that. But I don't know. Do you really want to be trapped? Because then you will never break away. Sometimes you're scared to go, well, I don't want to do this now. I want to do my own stuff. Because you're scared of losing that income or that blanket, that comfort zone. Because what if you leave and they find someone else? You know? But you got to watch out for that, okay? Because too many people, you know, like if I was a nasty person, which I'm not, I could easily take on some of these people and go, yeah, okay, we've got a job on. It's £3,500. You know, I'll say, okay, you can help me out, but I'm only going to pay you £100. And because they're based in India or wherever, they're going to go, yeah, okay, I'll do that. And then I'm on their back. Right, do this, do that, change that. You didn't do that right. It might take a week or a bit. I get 3,400, they get 100, but they did all the work. And I know you could say that's how agencies work, but if you start to make out, I can do your SEO, I can do your web design, I can wipe your ass, they'll make you wipe their ass even when it doesn't need wiping. So watch out for that, okay? If anyone is doing that right now, just watch out. Okay, Chima, yeah, update the pages, resubmit, well done. Nice one, mate. And I'm glad it worked. Artif's going through a midlife crisis, but I'd love to work with you. Any projects we can work on together? Now, I know Artif's messing around when he says that, and obviously he's put the smiley faces. But I do want to stress on the first bit. Are you going through a midlife crisis? I feel like I am. Seriously, I feel like I am sometimes with my son, believe it or not. But are you really going through a midlife crisis? Yeah, joining your agency, Dave, happens all the time, doesn't it? Yeah, I mean, so if you are approaching other people, right, it's not a great look. It really isn't. In fact, it's a bit like LinkedIn. You know when someone says they want to connect and within moments of them connecting, a note comes through. Da-da-da-da-da-da, we do this, we do that. Do you want to set up a meeting? I don't reply. The next day, you get another message. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, do you want to set up a meeting? Here's my Calendly link. I don't reply. Third day. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, we can really work with you. Listen, if I want to work with you, I would have got back to you by now. If I want to work with you, I would have found you. If I want to work with you, it'd be happening. If I haven't got back to you after the second or third one, just stop. Like there's one person, I think my phone's in the other room. But there was one person who basically, God, it's ridiculous. You know, like she must have contacted about 6 or 7 times now. And she's very she's very suggestive in her messaging. Oh, we can really work with you, you know, and hey, look, you know, we could even arrange a meal one day and go and eat and all of that, you know, we can really bring value to you and you can bring value to us. I know you're busy and I respect that, but if you want to, you know, we can even have a video call, you know. And I'm like, get lost. I didn't say the word get lost. I just don't bother replying. I just don't. And you would think that if I haven't replied after 6 or 7 goes now, I'm not gonna. And I do sometimes feel, and I'm not being sexist here, okay, but I do sometimes feel like, you know you're leaving yourself open for someone to get really seedy with you. The way you're coming across and your messaging. You're going to have a lot of perverts who are going to go, oh yeah, let's go for that meal. You know? I mean, and I have to say, when I used to work in Atif, I don't know if you ever came across this, but when I used to work in the NHS, a lot of recruitment agencies, I didn't use them, but a lot of them, you could clearly tell that the way they were trying to win business was by trying to make sure they were speaking to the males in very suggestive ways. And they were always going out for lunch, evening meals. Okay? And that's what I'm going to say about that. And I heard, and there were a couple of things that actually happened between some people as well, but that's all I will say about that. Nyan, is it okay to use the same product description on many products? I would say, Nyan, why do that? Because then I would say to you, are the products not different? Like, how different are the products? So I've just got to check something here for a moment. Wait. How different are the products? Because if the products are very, very different, they should not be the same description. Unless they are variants. Now, if they are a variant of a product, then you could get away with some similarity. But you would expect the first paragraph to be different. Otherwise, I might go, well, that's the same description as that. It looks lazy, you know, so I would question why have you got that unless it's a variant. Well, the thing is, though, like, you know, like, Artif, you know, the Batcave, that's, you know, remember the Batcave, you know, if there is a midlife crisis going on. Well, let me tell you something, right, okay, so, obviously, like, about a month ago, there was someone on a radio station in the UK, and she was saying how about 3 years ago, no, not 3 years ago, it was before lockdown, so it would have been 4 years ago, in fact, all round about that time anyway. She worked with a company in London, and she said it was like loads of men, and she was one of the few females there. And people would come to their company, they would try and set up a business deal, and then the potential client noticed her, and then the other men noticed that, and then they used to say to her, right, go on a meal with them. You know, go on an evening meal with them, clinch the deal. So she basically, nearly every week, was having to go out on meals with men. You know, and you can see where this is going. And she said she always felt like she was being used. And this is in London, in the UK, London, 3-4 years ago. All right? And that's why I do not like that kind of practice. All right? I don't like it. I just don't like it. All right. And like, I'll tell you what, I was very protective of my team when I was in the NHS, right? My team, in total, there were 12 of us. In that team, there were 3 males and the rest were females. And I was very protective of my team. If I noticed people getting seedy with my staff and I could see they did not like that, I was very protective of them because I just don't like that kind of like. No, they were a marketing business as well in London, Michael. They were a marketing business trying to win business, potential client notices her, they can see he's looking or whatever. They arrange a lunch deal to clinch the deal or whatever, right? And it gets me so mad that happens. And I'm not going to mention who, but it's obviously, you can tell that they're probably all supporters of a certain person, you know, initials AT, that kind of mindset. And it gets me, but I was very protective of my team, okay? And sometimes there would be people coming in our team and they'd literally be like, oh yeah, we want to work on an analytical project. Oh, can we work with her? Can she come over? And, you know, and I'm like, no, why? I'd be like, she doesn't need to go anywhere. This is the office. This is where she works. She doesn't need to work in your office. She doesn't need to do that. Oh, but it might help get things done quicker. No, it won't. It won't at all. It won't get things done any quicker, whether she's working there or here. In fact, it'll be quicker if she works here because she can rely on us to help support her with problem solving and getting things done. You know, but yeah. ChatGPT. Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, what John PT says there. Get ChatGPT to rewrite it. And if it is product variation, again, though, what I would say, Nyan, is, let's say you got a t-shirt, right? And you got different colors of the same t-shirt. You wouldn't have this t-shirt 5 times. You'd have one t-shirt with the variable inside WooCommerce, right? The attribute. Sorry, I just realized my microphone's not right. You'd have the attribute in the variation. So then you can pick the color or the size. You don't need to have the same t-shirt as 5 different products. Unless you do, though. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm making it too simple. I'm oversimplifying it. But I would say, yeah, if you really need to go and do ChatGPT. Yeah, and I'm sorry to hear that, Crystal. Do you know that? Like, I just think that, like, it's just, I don't like it if anyone is taken advantage of. Male, female, non-binary, I don't care. I just don't like anyone being taken advantage of. Because I have seen it too many times, and I have seen people's careers get ruined, bullied, just things happening to them. I have seen really good people crumble when they were in the wrong situation at the wrong time and they were taken advantage of or something like that. And I have seen friends suffer for it. So I'm very protective of that, not just from work days, but even when I was at college and university, and I have seen things get... Yeah, and basically, Linda, and we are on a tangent here because we are talking about behaviours now and things like that, that this poor female was basically made to feel like she was not a team player if she did not go along with this. And it went on for 3 years. And she always felt like it wasn't right. She knew it wasn't right, but she couldn't talk to anyone. She couldn't talk to her family. She couldn't talk to her friends because she was ashamed. And what did she get out of it? Nothing. Because the business deal benefits the business. She had a monthly salary. And the monthly salary, well, other than bonuses each year, whatever, was the same. It's not like she got more out of it. So it's literally like, you know, it's a nasty situation. It is Thursday, though. Who here has had so far who's had a bad week? Rather than talking about everyone who's achieving amazing stuff when you're all really happy, who's had a really bad week that they want to talk a bit about? Has anyone had like one of those situations where it's really made them stop and think about what they're doing in how you're working with clients or what kind of in fact, let's open up a little bit. Like, has anyone had a bad week, or has anyone worked on a particular type of project where they're no longer going to do that project? Maybe you've done e-commerce websites for a while, but you've now decided, I don't want to do e-commerce. I would prefer it if I never did e-commerce, but we still do e-commerce. But I would prefer it if I didn't, because you know what? Sometimes e-commerce websites, when they're simple, great. When they're not simple, not great. Okay? So sometimes I don't like it. Which plugins are favored for cookie? To be honest, Andrew, I mean, there's the GDPR there's so many now, right? But there's one I use a lot, which is GDPR and cookie consent. I have to be honest, right, in that I cannot see the point with GDPR and cookie consent. I find it to be the most bureaucratic piece of elephant testicle ever. That's how I view it. Okay, I've worked in NHS analytics for 20 years. All right, Data Protection Act, all of that, right? Through and through, all of that. You know, pseudonymization with patient data and NHS numbers, all of that. Protection, blah, 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 blah. I even got a degree in law. I understand computer law. All right, I understand all of that. But GDPR, okay. Hey, Martin Barron, how you doing? And, you know, I'm glad we got there with that snippet. But GDPR, cookie consent, What a load of cack. Biggest cack drivel ever. Every bloody website. Do you accept the cookie? What if you're on a diet and you're cutting down carbs and you're trying to stay away from temptation, and then you go, I just saw the word cookie. It asked if I accept the cookie. I don't want a cookie. I don't want the cookie. Biggest pile of crap ever. I get why. I get it. But really, Alima, I started a web design business but could not find client. Hey, Alima, you need to, right. What I'm going to say, Alima, okay, is are you prepared to give us a bit more information? So, have you got any friends or family that might need a website? Have you got any friends or family that might know people? Why don't you say to your previous clients or your friends or family, if you refer to me and a website is built, I'm going to pay you $100. I'm going to pay you $50. Assuming your website build is, say, $1,000, I'm going to pay you $100. If your website build is $200, you might pay $30. But what would it take to make them go, I like that? If I say to anyone right now, hey, I'll give you £20 if you got anyone who wants a website, they're going to go, yeah, all right, yeah. If I say £100 and it's unlimited, you get me 20 people and a website is built, 20 times 100 is 2,000. I had to think about that. £2,000 to you, boom, into your account. They're going to take notice. So think about your market. Think about what you charge, right? You know any friends or family? Any previous clients? Tell them, hey, you need a website? Do you know someone who needs a website build? After the website is built, you get paid, and then you take a cut of that and you pay the person who referred you. You don't pay them before. You wait until you're paid by. It's got to be a completed website build. Not just, you don't pay on the back of a referral. It's got to be a completed website build. And you pay 5%, 10%, $50, $100, whatever works for you. It was this morning, actually, Martin. You sent me the details last night, and I was in bed at that point. I thought, I'll wait now. But it was this morning. And all I did, Martin, was I had your website open. I had a preview window open over here in Chrome. So they were completely different browsers, Edge and Chrome. And I literally just looked at your website. I was like, I bet it's a snippet. And I just unticked all the snippets, made sure it was working. And then I activated one by one by one. And then I was like, yeah, it was what I suspected, the explicit one. Because I know that one sometimes affects Calendly as well. Chima, speaking of bad experiences, when I was starting out, I had this client off Fiverr who kept coming back for site updates. Wow. Yeah, you see, Chima, that's the danger, isn't it? That's the big danger. And it's almost like you got to make clear to them at the start, what are they paying for and what do they get? And at what point do you draw the line and go, no, any more work is either a care plan or you pay per task or request. Yeah, what I would say, I mean, the thing is about Alima, you say you've left a full-time web designer job. Have you got any contacts? Have you got anyone you can reach out to? And what you want to do is start, I mean, it takes time. It does take time, but mention to your friends and family, look on LinkedIn, go to Facebook, join groups. It does take time, but once the ball gets rolling, it will start to roll. That's the thing though, Michael, isn't it? It's like, I totally get all of it. I totally understand it. But it's such a pain in the ass. Because what I find really funny, is every time you want to test out or sign up for anything, you give them your name, you create your password, you give them your details. You don't think twice about it. But just to visit a website to look at an image, you got to hit the cookie button. It's just annoying as heck. Kazakhstan, Central Asia, now living in Turkey, Istanbul, and have no... Okay, Alama, if you got no friends, right, have you got anyone you can reach out to from where you were living, you know? And you might need to just kind of like advertise somewhere, or try and find out if there's anywhere... Where do people go if they want a website build? Chima, does anyone randomly go down a rabbit hole of browsing other agency websites? I think some of us do that, Chima. I like to have a look at other people's work. It's always nice to kind of get a feeling for, well, what are people doing? Oh, will I adopt that style or not? It's all about learning from your peers. You know, that's how carpenters learn from other carpenters. And then they might have built a wardrobe a certain way. Then they see someone do something different and they go, oh, I'll do that. People that build houses, this is how they always build a brick wall. Oh, there's a different, better way. I might try that. You're not stealing, you're adapting, you're modifying, you're being inspired to approach it differently. So I think it's always good to look at other stuff. No, don't worry, Alama. I mean, I would say that, like, you know, maybe see what businesses are around you, wherever you are. And by the way, I hope you're okay as well. You know, since the earthquakes and everything must be horrendous. Look at the businesses around you. How many of them have a website or have a really old website? What can you do for them? Don't just say, hey, we'll redo your website. Look at what they've got. Are they missing a trick? Where are they on Google? Do you think you can do something to help them increase their social media presence, climb the Google rankings, have a more modern website, have something that might convert or generate income for them in a better way? Try and approach them in that way, because it's, in a way, it's cold emailing or cold calling. But rather than going in with, oh, I can build websites, I'll redo your website, it's neither here or there. Go in with a personalized approach with what can you do for them? What will it mean for them? Look, if, you know, you got a website, it's okay, but compared to everyone else, it looks really old-fashioned. I think it'd be a good idea for you to kind of rejig it, do it up, make it sound better, and, you know, and I think it will help convert more as well. Yeah, I mean, I think the trouble with Raheem, yeah, is that the whole thing about ADHD and all of that, I think he's very much aware of what he's doing. He's able to switch it off and on. So it's almost very selective of when he's going to misbehave or not. And I think it's something about, I think there's a slight problem in that he's always craving attention. So he sometimes misbehaves to get attention. The trouble is, though, he attracts the wrong one and he gets into trouble then at school. Alma, I learned so many things from you right now. I'm really interested in GSAP. Do you know something? I don't really do GSAP or Green Shift or Motion. I've not got into that because my clients don't need it. So I haven't had to invest time into it. If I knew I had to, I'd put time into it, but I just don't have to at the moment. You might want to look at, so I'm going to give you, oh God, I'm going to get his surname wrong now. This is really, really bad, right? But I'm going to get his surname wrong now. I'm just going to double check the surnames. I'm pretty sure it's S-O-T-O, but I don't want to get his name wrong. I want to make sure I get the name. Yeah, it's S-O. I nearly wrote S-H then. I nearly got his right name. But you might want to think of for GSAP videos. So Oriel Soto. He uses Elementor. He does that sort of stuff. Oriel Soto, go and have a look at his stuff. That That being said, I don't know how much of it is Elementor. He does use Elementor. He does do a lot of that stuff. Reach out to him. He ain't going to like it. He ain't going to like this probably. But reach out to him and just see if he can advise a little bit better maybe on stuff like that. I mean, I would say, though, do consider, though, how many clients you think might want to use that kind of stuff. I'm finding a lot of my clients, believe it or not, aren't that into entrance animations. They're not overly crazy about parallax effects either. I don't mind. You know, doesn't mean the website's boring. It just means the website doesn't need it. Like, we did a website last week for a food blogging website. I'm really proud of what we did there. You know, we took their ideas, we took what they wanted in a way, we adapted it, and I really like the clean, airy feel to their website. I think we did a really goddamn good job on that. I say we, but I did a really good job on that. But there's no animation. There's no entrance animation. There's no fade in, fade out. There's no scrolling effect. There's no parallax. It's just really, really simple. And it works. Just works. Carlo, why does the text widget have... Yeah, okay, so if I'm honest, Carlo, I'm not entirely sure myself either. It's almost like a paragraph widget, okay? And paragraph widgets sometimes automatically have an extra return. I have got a video on how you just add in a tiny bit of CSS into your Elementor custom code bit. Sorry, I yawned then. For site settings. Sorry, I'm yawning. I do feel a bit tired today. I have to be honest. It has been a busy week. What was I saying? Yeah, so you would add it into your site settings for your whole Elementor website. And what that would do is that would eliminate the return of that text editor. In fact, I'm probably going to make sure I do a video on that again. I haven't done a video on that for a while. And I think, why not? Let's just get that video back out again. In fact, I need to just double check something because I'm pretty sure with an Elementor container, you don't get that issue. I'm pretty sure that when you're using containers, you don't get that issue. So I'm just going to double check. Right? So this is a test website I got. In fact, I'll just get it up. Let's just get it up. Let's get it up. Here we go. So this is a test website I've got. So this is a section, and if you were to go and drop in a text editor like that, it's not doing it. It's not doing it. So I think they fixed it. I think they might have fixed it. I just remember seeing somewhere that it wasn't an issue anymore. Yeah, look, they fixed it. It's gone. No, it's not gone. No, it is gone. Yeah, look, that extra return, if I get rid of that and just pop that to 0, that extra return is now gone. And this is a fresh installation. In fact, when I say fresh installation, it was a reset. So I'm just going to double check that I haven't got any snippets in here. I don't think there's any snippets. Because I was just messing around. No, there's no snip. Oh, no, there is snippets. I lied. There is snippets. But no, there's no snippets. Sorry. There are no snippets. There's no Elementor custom code. I'm pretty sure there's no custom code. So I think in the latest version, they have fixed it. From what I can tell, they fixed it. But then, I don't know. I might be wrong. But it looks to me like they have fixed it. Like, look, there, it's gone. And if I go over here to site settings, I don't think... Yeah, look, I haven't got any custom code either. But I haven't got anything. I haven't got... And look, even my typography. There's nothing has set. Look, there's nothing set. This is a complete reset. Oh, hold on. Wait, let me just delete that. It might now change when I get rid of that. Let me get rid of that. Maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe there was something. Because I was looking at this the other day. Come on. No, it's not there. Look, it's not there. So I don't know if it was a recent update. Because look, there is no... That return is not there now, which is a bit strange, but it's not there. I don't know. I do want to test it out on a completely brand new website, because this is one of my staging sites. But I want to do like a fresh WordPress installation, and then I'm going to check it out. Because if it is sorted out, then it is sorted out. By the way, this website, what is this using? This is a test website, by the way. But I think I'm on the latest Elementor, because I use this for testing stuff out. 3.11.3, so this is the latest one. You know, but yeah, I mean, look, I'll double check for you. Okay, so if we just go over to settings, we'll do it now. Why not? Let's go to features. Let's just go to active. Flexbox container. Let's just pop that active as well. Let's just hit save changes. Let's go back to pages. Let's just go back to this fake page that we've got. So let's stick the text editor in over here, and we now have a container, and the container is wrapped. Look, there you go. It's fine again. It's fine again. I don't know. Seems to be working. You know, I don't know if that's just fluke. I don't know if that is fluke, because I was going to do a video and then I stopped because I noticed it, and I was like, maybe they've sorted it out. But then again, maybe they did do it, but we just haven't noticed it. So let's just go over to settings, not settings. In fact, let's just go over to plugins. Let's check the changelog, because it's been a while since I looked at the changelog, to be honest, right? So let's just go to view details, Elementor, changelog. Let's find it. Text editor. Modified control sanitation. No, it's not that. It's nothing to do with sanitation. Drop cap not working. It's not that. Removed redundant display. No, it's not that. Not that. Not that. Not that. Ooh, removed margin 0 setting from figure inside. Was it? No, it's not that. And this is back in 2017. So it's definitely not that. Okay, so we can bump that all off. Okay. So what about Elementor Pro? Again, this might be fluke. And maybe when I do it on a fresh installation, there is still an issue. So let's just have a look again. Text editor. I don't think there's anything for text editor. No, text editor. Let's just have a check. Editor. No, there's nothing there. I don't know. Look, someone's going to have a look for me. But I am going to do a fresh installation. And I'll have a look as well. But yeah. I am 99% certain this is a fluke. Maybe there is something somewhere I've done. Maybe I added it somewhere. I just don't realise it. But this was a complete reset. So every page is like dead and buried kind of thing. Removed. I don't know. Right, okay, what I am going to say, though, I'm going to give you all a 2-minute warning. There's a reason I'm giving a 2-minute warning. I'm feeling really drained inside. Like, I've got my drink, but I'm feeling really, really drained inside. And I feel like I need to spend a bit of time with Raheem as well. Just talk to him a bit more about behaviour. Because it's becoming really noticed at the moment. So, like, you know, when the kids are let out and the teachers then direct the kids back to their parents, it's becoming a regular pattern where right at the start they're having a chat with me, and it's just becoming too much of a regular pattern. And let me just give you an idea. In the last 6 days, every day, you know, and every day we have a chat, talk about behaviour. And I just don't think it's sinking in. Hey, don't forget to hit like if you've not hit like already, okay? And don't forget our super course on how to start a web design business. Okay, unless there's any burning questions, I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to jump off. I'm going to go in, eat, talk to my son about stuff. and then probably catch up and do some more work later on. I believe he's got loads of loads of stuff to do. Yeah. He's got loads of stuff to do, so I think it's all about redirecting that energy and stop looking for attention from others. Okay, everyone, I'm going to say goodbye now. I'll see you tomorrow, normal time. Catch you all later. Take care. Stay safe. Don't forget to hit like. Bye.